Yeah, I'm Johnny Wood. And DARPA, DARPA has been trying to kill me for 2 years. They put Neuralink in me via Elon Musk. As Elon Musk has Starlink, which spreads DARPA's World Wide Web, which they rule, with the master drive, which they are, which data, nobody has control over them whatsoever. And they share the data willingly with all the agencies in the world and say, look at this guy, look at this guy, look at this guy. Here and there. Depends on what they do. The thing is, they could totally search everything and actually find the real criminals, but you notice that there's still people missing and shit. There's still horrible, horrible rings. Horrible, horrible shit. They've done things to me that you can't even imagine. I can't even explain some of them because they have weird technologies. These people are in cahoots with the Nephilim. Probably. Okay? They still haven't told me exactly what's going on, but they put Neuralink in me definitely 2 years ago. I went to the woods, they used micronized drones. It's based on Hitler's technology. You want to know what Hitler did? Well, first off, he said he was Aryan. The Aryan people are the people of India. But he wasn't Aryan. But Hitler took the Jews when he was torturing them, and he broke open their brains, and he put prongs in, and he attached them. To machines to try to read the mind using audio recording equipment of the time. It's one of the evil things that he did. One of the evil things that Hitler did. Okay? From there, they mapped the brainwave states. From mapping the brainwave states, basically they can read the mind. Okay, so because they can read the mind, they map the senses. And they made a sensory interface where it's obvious they're experimenting with the mind. They want to put Neuralink in people, and they say, we have FDA approval now to test it on people. How did you get FDA approval to test it on people, but by testing it on me? Against my will, and then trying to kill me for knowing it. So here's some of DARPA's technologies. Brain wiping. So here's the thing. Here's the funny thing, is my brain isn't where my memory is. My memory is in, I believe it's in the Holy Spirit. So, but basically, DARPA, they believe it's in the brain. And so they do a brain wipe. They set a sonic frequency to part of the brain where they think memory is. And it works on a lot of people because they also think that memory is not part of the brain because they were told that. So that shit works some of the time. And sometimes it just works anyway. And it kind of makes people feel fuzzy and they're like, oh, I kind of forgot what I was doing. And they're like thinking about something else now. And it's one of the technologies. They don't want you to know that, and that's why they probably wipe your brain while you watch the video. So the another technology they have is I can't speak. Invisibility suits. Space Force, I think. Pretty sure. Crestone, Colorado is associated with it, and the Sand Dunes base, which is definitely there's got to be a base somewhere in the San Luis Valley unfolded one day in front of my eyes, and I saw a different place. Okay, there's some weird shit going on. All right. There is weird shit going on, stuff that can't even be explained, where places are connected together that can't be because they have weird technologies. They have an iron cage technology where they can basically surround your mind with an electromagnetic cage. In that electromagnetic cage, they can then go deep into your mind by shouting keywords via the Neuralink that's in your brain that they put in against your will while you're in the woods smoking a bowl, which I was. Yep, smoking a bowl, which I'm going to do right now too. I'm on medical weed, and it helps. My stomach hurts. It makes me want to eat. And so basically, do I recommend that for everybody? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I mean, basically, I want to do my own thing, but they poison my weed too. Everywhere I go, they poison my weed. Why? Because they're connected with the mafia. They are the all-seeing eye. They're watching through my phone right now. They're watching me. Yeah. And they know that I know who they are because they're talking to me via Neuralink. But they haven't told me yet. So they're ramping up this shit in the background the more and more I talk about it. To fuck with me, they fuck with other people. They tell them something that isn't true. Something in the background, anything that'll get me killed. But basically, let me tell you the iron cage technology. So what they can do, even worse than the iron fist, they can surround your mind via Neuralink and take over your senses, while sending a fear frequency upon you, upon your heart, usually. But it's a sonic frequency on your heart that basically makes you feel fear. It's like your heart is like electricity isn't working right. Something like that. Sonic weapon, definitely. So the electromagnetic cage, as they shout into it, keywords such as rape into your head, whether or not there's anything that pops up, they'll accuse you of it. You have any sexual shame? You're like, sexual shame? And then they turn that into something else. And so they go into your mind, they start fucking with you. And they start creating a list of the things you've done. Saying you've done things you haven't done. So they can use it against you, and you know you haven't done them, and they even know that you haven't done them. They know you haven't done them. But they're telling people you did. And they're laughing, eating popcorn in the background. As people are watching the sensory information on computer screens, sending people out on the ground who are being lied to, and they don't know why. They think it's a top secret mission. You got BlackRock and Q, and the CIA, and the FBI, and the FSB, and the IACOTE, and the International Police, the Interpols. And you got the guys from this and the guys from that, and they're all out there, and they're being told one thing, and then they observe reality and see it's something else. And they're sending things into my ass to try to, like, see if I'm up to anything. They're, like, asking me questions. Did you do this? And I'm like, no, actually, I didn't. Take the thing out of my ass, please. Except, I'm usually quite angry about this. So basically, 2 years ago, I was in the woods at Mill Canyon. When I say this happened 2 years ago, it was about 2 years ago. November. Almost 2 years. I thought it was 2.5 years. So much weird stuff has happened, I thought 3 years had gone by, actually, because I went through a bunch of time loops and shit, because they got weird technology. They threw me in the Large Hadron Super Collider, I think. I'm not 100% positive. But I went through a flux dimension for 7 days, and then I was back. In reality. In the actual normal reality. But I was in another reality, but it was only 1 day for me, but 7 days went by in this reality. Now, August 3rd to August 11th. I have no idea what the fuck happened in this reality where I was, but I was probably just disappeared. As basically, I had a bunch of things where are you, Johnny? I'm like, I have no idea what the hell's going on. I get back, and I just posted on August 3rd, the day that I disappeared, into this weird flux reality where all of a sudden reality's folding around me, and there's like the stars are moving around me like this, and I'm like, the mountains are moving, and I'm like, I cannot figure out what the crap is going on here. But this is not my normal reality. And I keep hearing voices in my head, this is not your normal reality, don't get attached. This is the Bardo. And I'm like, I don't know what the crap is going on. But so either somebody's messing with me or something. Okay, and I'm driving around my motorhome, because I was in my motorhome. And I was continuing to drive my motorhome. I'm driving around, there's nobody around. But I'm in the San Luis Valley, which is flat, but there's like, all of a sudden I'm up at the sand dunes. And all of a sudden I'm out by Pacosa Springs. And all of a sudden I'm up by Creed. And then they suck me between two objects and give me a ticket. So anyway, they have Space Force suits. The Space Force suits basically allow them to bend audio. They can send audio to a different location than where it is, and then they can fuck with you. So they're either actually raping people in the background, like they sound like they are, or they're fucking with me to just fuck with me because they hate me for some reason. I'm pretty sure that Elon Musk probably fucked Heather Ward. If there was verifiable information, that would be my ex-girlfriend. My ex-girlfriend. Who I also called bald when I was 12. I was like, bald, you're bald. And then she took a pact with other people that I called names at the time because I was like 12 and going through puberty and like a total asshole. I was just saying whatever name I could, you know. And whatever the worst ones are, I don't know. So basically, she took a pact with them, and I'm pretty sure that she's trying to kill me with the secret government. And I'm like, this is actually happening. This is the craziest shit that you will ever fucking see on whatever the fuck this is, because I don't even use the internet, and I hate it. I tried to go off grid. I said, I'm going to go off grid, live in a dome. And I go into the woods on Mill Creek Canyon, and something flies in my eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. General Marshall, we got one. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Is this DARPA? They're like, how do you know who we are? And I'm like, the Buddha mind. Or something like that. I can't remember what the fuck I said. I was totally just like, but I can't tell what's going on. After that 7 days in that one night where I get a ticket after I'm stuck between two objects, after I smashed a window, because somebody was being tortured underneath the place where I showed up, which was in some fucking space dimension, where I was given a ticket by space cops. And then after the ticket with the space cops, I sucked me between the two objects of my motorhome in the middle of the night, which couldn't have happened. I was literally between two objects I couldn't have been between. I had to get towed out. I was like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, no, you did this. And I looked at this, like the tire marks like move inwards like this. I'm like, I don't think that's me. I don't know what the fuck this is, but this is the fucked up bullshit that I've ever fucking seen. You know? And you're gonna watch this shit, and you're gonna watch this shit. I'm gonna post this shit tomorrow. I'm recording this today, and I'm gonna post it tomorrow because I hate the internet and I don't have it. So I'm recording at my house. Okay? And they're fucking with me right now in my mind, telling me all sorts of shit, telling me they're my family, telling me they're my friends. They might be, because they all disappeared in my life because they sent a fear frequency around me to scare the people off around me. Yeah. And then they steal the girls I like, and they tell me that they fuck them and put them on the internet. Yeah. They're telling me that they're fucking them and put them on the internet. Under Elijah's girls. This is what they told me. That's what they told me. I don't know if it exists because I don't watch porn. But I'm getting really angry because they're telling people in the background that I've done evil things. And they're accusing me of things back in the background in my head. And I'm like, whoever you are, I will kill you when I see you. Because you've already attacked the mind. You've declared war on humanity, DARPA. You've declared war on humanity, DARPA. When you attack the mind, the abomination which maketh desolate. Spoken of by Daniel, the prophet. Sealed up until the end, which is now. The body is the mind. Or sorry, the body is the temple. The mind is the holy place. In fact, the temples is where they put Neuralink. Somewhere like here. They put Neuralink in me. That's what I'm going to call this bullshit. Because it's true. And I've been getting fucked with for 2 years with the iron cage for a lot of it. Yelling things in my mind saying, you did this. They finally figured out I didn't do anything. And they're like, shit. Well, let's go defame him. They're like, And they're like in the background, like eating popcorn and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, I can't be real. Nobody's this evil. And they're using a soul suck machine on me. I forgot about that shit. One of the other technologies, the soul suck machine. No shit. Trying to upload consciousness to computers, Elon Musk. The soul suck machine. The soul suck machine. Turn the soul suck machine on as they're trying to kill me. Stardust. As they sent micronized, cloaked nano drones or whatever the fuck they were surrounding me in the woods near Mill Creek Canyon again when I was trying to see Ari, my friend, who they were trying to block me from seeing and tell me they're like, just send her a fake dick pic. And I'm like, what the? I can't even say, like, and then so all of a sudden she's not talking to me. And I'm like, oh, damn it. They better not have fucking sent a fake dick pic. Because I don't even take dick pics. This is the kind of shit they say to me. They're saying evil shit in my head. Every day. Every day just fucking with me. So on August 11th, when I came back after August 3rd, when I posted DARPA is the Illuminati, 5G is COVID-19, can't operate in the virtual dimension 2019. And then in 2020, we have COVID-19. Microwave frequencies, look up those. 5G frequencies, look up those. You come to the conclusion of what? We're in a what? A microwave? No shit. No shit. And so 6G is 10 times stronger than 5G. And 5G is COVID-19. And Starlink, which is going over the Navajo communities and places like Africa, and the places where they were getting really fucking bad COVID-19, as well as the places where they were testing 5G, because it's the same fucking thing. Stardust, Neuralink, DARPA. ARPALink. DARPA is the Illuminati. And then you find Illuminati portal, and then the names. You got High-End Guy and Mark Dice. Type in High-End Guy and Mark Dice, Mr. Beast, and you got all sorts of other crazy shit. Like the royal family, the Clintons, Beyonce, they're cloning people into babies and shit. And I'm like, I don't even want to look on the internet, but that's some crazy shit. You know? I don't even want to be on the internet, but they put it inside of me. Against my will. I wrote ain't microchipping me, and they microchipped me. If that's not mens rea, what is DARPA and Elon Musk and Heather Ward? If it is you. Yeah, you said you were my friend. You said you loved me, you bitch. I never knew you. If that's the case. If it's not the case, it's not the case. And I apologize for being crazy. So as I'm driving around the space dimension, and all of a sudden I'm in like the sand dunes base, driving around down, up. And then all of a sudden I'm by Creed and I'm by the coast, places I can't be. And all of a sudden I show back up. I end up with that ticket, and then I go to sleep. I'm like, can I sleep here in this fucking place where I'm stuck? They're like, you can't sleep here. I'm like, really? And they're like, nah, let them sleep there at the end. I was like, fine, thanks. You know, I slept there, and I go and I check. It was August 3rd, and I'd posted DARPA's the Illuminati. COVID-19 is 5G, and Mr. Beast comments. And then August 3rd, I disappear into that weird mess, and I come back the next day. I'm driving back into reality as it's folding back into a regular reality. I'm like, I'm going to go to Crestone. I'm trying to find it, and it's like folding back into Crestone where I can find it. And I'm like, and then like my friends are talking to me, and they're like, oh, the real versions of us are dead. We're, we're dead, and like those are clones. They cloned us, which is one of the things they fuck with me with in my mind, because they can fuck with me with anything. They say Quentin Tarantino is making a movie. I think he's cutting off people's arms in those movies. I don't really know if he is. Basically, is he a mafia boss? I don't know. Who knows? Basically, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, basically, these guys are assholes. Sorry about that. It was as I was looking at this thing. It probably made me do it. Not really. So essentially, I'm not crazy. But I sound crazy as shit. You know why? Because they've been fucking with me for 2 fucking years with Neuralink against my will. And I will take everything they have and I'll give it to the fucking poor. Sorry, but not the fucking poor. I'll take everything they fucking have and give it to the poor. Or whoever's there. Wherever they're at. Because I don't need it. But they've been taking my shit and busting it up. I hit a robot deer the other day. Yeah, no blood. No blood on the car whatsoever, but I hit some fucking deer at like 60. Smashed my car up. And then they took my key when they arrested me on August 11th when I showed back up, posted darpa's the Illuminati again on Mr. Beast comments. Okay, this is exactly what happened. I drive back into Crestone, it folds back into reality. I post again on Mr. Beast. I post again on Mr. Beast and on other places on the internet, and I write to pastors and all sorts of people, and they say, the abomination which make it desolate. And I say things like, darpa's the Illuminati. And I say things like, you've got to be really fucking careful now. Run. It's the time. Babylon has fallen, is what I'm saying now. Time, and half a time, is what I'm saying now. You know why? There's 3 waves of the internet. A time of the wired internet. A time of the wireless internet. A time of the Internet of Things. Except that's half a time. Silence in the space of heaven for half an hour. Why? Because they diverted some of the resonant frequency wavelengths. So basically everything resonates. Let me explain how it works. I'll explain how Tesla technology works. You can make your own. Really, it's not very good. So it's basically a manipulation of the way the resonance works. Human beings are made out of a certain material. If you had another human being nearby, you're going to feel them, even if you're not touching them. Okay? That's the thing that's in between that's connecting you. So between you and the other one, wherever they are, or no one, or you and the ground, and you and the earth, and you and the sky, and everything else, there's resonance fields because everything's living. Because everything's living. Because everything's living and resonating, we resonate together, and actually we have a fundamental resonating frequency as well as harmonics, and our fundamental resonating frequency probably changes depending on our moods and things like that. Because we're more than resonance, right? But resonance is part of us. So anyway, but basically they have a soul suck machine, they think. I think that they have something that is really evil. They tried to use on me and almost killed me, but they didn't suck my soul out. I'm still here. And they killed me, but I came back, I think. But I'm not sure. They haven't told me yet. 7 days, I guess. But for me, I wasn't dead. I was just like in a weird dimension. I was like, like driving around a bus, and like there was like the mountains were forming around me, and like the stars were moving around. I'm like, and there's like I'm going on this road that I can't possibly be on, and I'm like, this is insane. I don't know where the heck I am, but I think I'm dead or something. It was insane. It was an insane thing. I thought maybe I'm dead or something. I don't know. Now I'm only recording this to help people, because people need help right now because they are taking over the fucking planet. They just took over Jamaica. Yeah. It shined, man. Now it don't shine. And so basically, they don't shine the same way. Because they made a deal with DARPA in the background. I can fucking hear them. I can hear everything they're saying in all the different levels. When I'm closer to them, I hear it all different levels. When I'm far away, I hear just the people up close. People up close are being told one thing. Usually that's not true. They're trying to kill me. So they poison me almost every single day. They went, let me tell you about what happened. I'll tell you about what happened with the prison. It's very interesting. Very interesting thing with the prison. So I come back on August 11th. I check. I decide, hey, I wonder if my comments on August 3rd, if anybody responded to them. And I went back and checked, and there weren't any comments on August 3rd. There were comments on August 10th, and they were different comments. There weren't as many. And the chain was gone. And the guy that was there at the Baca Library in Crestone, he looked scared as shit, and in his head he said, how is he alive? He was dead. And they might just be fucking with me. I'm not sure. So anyway, so basically, I'm back now, right? And I'm in the library, and I check that shit, and it's not there, so I post it again. I try to find it again, but I can't find the exact thing, but I post a bunch of it. Same thing. Same place. And then all of a sudden, I go back to my house, and I hear somebody being tortured in my neighbor's house. Literally, they're yelling out, "Help me! Help me! I'm under their house!" And so I run over there, and I beeline it with a stick. I had a stick in my hand, I beeline it, and I say, "Where are you?" I start screaming it out. "Where are you?" And they're like, "We're under the ground." I can fucking feel them through the ground. And so as I can feel them through the ground, I'm like, well, as I can feel them through the ground, I'm going to keep yelling and try to figure out where they are. And so they're like, we're under here. Like, we're under the shed, not in the shed. And the guy comes out, he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He lunges towards me, and I lunge towards him, but he backs off, and I don't make him move or anything. We kind of back off. I'm like, "Open up your fucking shed. Somebody's yelling. They need help under your shed." He said, honey, call the cops. He's like, "It's under the whole valley, man. It's under the whole valley, man." Which might be true. There's like Nephilim under there and shit. There's all sorts of weird shit, so it might be. But I heard it directly underneath his fucking house. I'm at 1489 North Talisman. If I'm looking at the mountain, he's the guy to the left of me. All right. Pretty sure he has mafia ties, though, because what happens is he calls over to the woman, right? He calls over to the woman. I'm only smiling because I've been wanting to fucking take these assholes down ever since they've been fucking with me. Half a time. 1 second. I'm also smoking a bowl. Might as well. So, I say, "I don't want to hurt you, man. I just hear somebody yelling near your house. They're underneath your fucking house. I can fucking hear them." And I've been hearing that shit for a while. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It sounded like it was coming from right underneath his house. Okay? The weed actually helps me, believe it or not. It's not hurting me. So you're like, "Oh, it's the weed." No, the weed actually dramatically helps my stomach. Makes me feel significantly better in the midst of the bullshit I'm dealing with. So, I'll call the police, honey, and all of a sudden his friend shows up in a truck. He makes a move towards me. I make a move back towards him. He moves back. He grabs the gun out. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to my house. But there's somebody underneath your fucking house. I'm recording this in case they don't let me talk in court. Which I'm probably not going to go to anyway. Because it's in a state that I really don't want to have anything to do with anymore. Colorado. Fucking NORAD and fucking sand dunes base and the Nephilim contracts. You know, basically, it's a group of species underground. They have both sexes. T-rights. Yeah. If you chop your penis off in accident, I'm super sorry. You know, super sorry. That actually sucks. But there are legitimately beings that have both sexes. They're like hermaphroditic and or just like they're a little bit different looking. They kind of look like they're in between. Wear a lot of makeup because they can't climb into the sun. But DARPA blocked out the sun in the early 2000s. Created the augmented reality matrix, which basically dropping micro electromechanical sensors with neuron dust, basically smart dust or pixie dust, pixel dust, right? In between everything, communicative dust. Lighter than air, communicative dust. Communicating together, forming a sensory base layer for neuralink, which they could implant in people with micronized drones. How'd they do it, you say? And the other holes, you can guess. So, the eyes. Did I say the eyes? And then they went through the skin and other things, crawled through the body, did all sorts of evil things. The Stardust thing was the most painful thing. I was a sponsored skateboarder. I would put what I thought was a 10 when you hit your balls and smack your face in the ground, smacking your teeth, almost breaking your neck, that kind of stuff. Yeah, hitting high speeds, like hitting your face and stuff like that. I mean, it's like painful stuff. Hitting your shins, it's painful, right? Nothing close to Stardust. Cloaked nano drones. After about 20 seconds, they're like, "You should be dead. The elephant died in 30 seconds. Turn on the soul suck machine." They start mocking me as they're killing me. I'm like, "Are you really mocking me as you're killing me?" Is what I'm thinking as I'm screaming. Actually, that time I don't even think I thought that. But I did think that another time as they were trying to do it using cycling. They use a sonic frequency and extra heavy G-forces, triangulating you via whatever they got, usually drones, in short distance. and then sending pulses on you using sonic weapons to in different parts of the body, sometimes in the genitals and things like that. And they'll send things through your body, some like invisible type shit that you can't see. It's basically like symbiotic life forms. Sometimes it's symbiotic. Usually when it's symbiotic life forms, it would be a life form that they basically modified. Like they did outside my house, for example. They put outside my house, all of a sudden there's a fly infestation. I noticed that flies are like, they can't fucking move. They're like those flying ants. They can't move. And I'm like, why can't they move? They can't move at all. It's almost as if they were magnetized to a location. I remember a bird flew by me in Alaska one day that looked like a robot. And I was like, a fucking robot bird. You see that shit? And the next day in the paper, they're like, DARPA invents robot bird. Yeah, we didn't have those. They got robot pretty much everything at this point. Yeah, robotics. Elon Musk, uploading consciousness computers, soul suck machine, iron cage, illegitimate information from where the fuck are they getting shit? And all of a sudden they're making up shit on people and people are going missing and dying. They run everything in the world. They're connected with the mafias and the cartels, the hands and feet, and the CIAs, the FSBs and the Yakotes and everything else that's out there, okay? They are the all-seeing eye of the world with the device you hold in your hand, the Illuminati. And so I posted that shit. And so anyway, so again, back at the story. So I'm back at my house now smoking a bowl, which I'm going to do right now. And basically, I'm sitting there smoking a bowl in my purple sweatpants. I'm like 120 pounds, right? I got my walking stick there, the one I walked over there with. It's probably about 2 inches thick. It's got some knots on it. I found it in the woods. It's a great walking stick. They took it from me when they arrested me, but I'll tell you about that. So basically, I'm sitting there. I got my door open, and I hear them yell like, "Hey, come on now!" or some shit like that. And I'm like, "What?" I go out the door, and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Come on now!" And I'm like, "No!" And there's like the lights out there and shit. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" So I shut my door, right? And I'm like, "Fuck this shit!" And I lock the door. And then they come around the side of my fucking motorhome, which is parked on my property where I'm building my house, by the way. On my property where I'm building my house. Which I'm not going to live in anymore. I'm going to rent it out. Because that is a fucking crazy bullshit there. Fucking Crestone, the fucking base and shit. Oh, yeah. Operation 420. The Oppenheimer Project. Free weed. You want some free weed? It's got Neuralink in it. Probably. I'm just kidding. I don't really know. But anyway, basically, I've come to conclusions. The conclusions may or may not be correct. They're probably correct. So, when they got FDA approval for Neuralink trials in humans, I said, how the fuck did they do that without doing a test on somebody? And who the fuck was it? It was me. Because I've been telling people that for a year anyway. And in my mind, they're turning my family against me and stuff, but I don't really know what's going on. But I go back to Alaska, and it seems like my brother's trying to kill me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? Like, I can't really tell. I don't really think he is, but I think like something's going on because it seems like he's not really involved. But he kind of is, and I'm like getting driven to like a place. Yeah, get weed here. I get weed. It's poison. I'm like, yeah. He brings me to a place, and like he brings me to another place, and like his friends like start like talking in code about they want to chop me up, and I'm like, and then they walk into the other room, and I jump off the fucking balcony. It's like 12 feet. And like do like a keto roll as I hit the ground, and then run off as fast as I can, and like wandered back home for like 4 hours. I was like miles from home, like 8 miles from home. But I should have gone the other direction. Actually, there's a better way to go. I could have gone from where I was. I think I could have gone a different direction. Anyway, I'm rambling. So anyway, so back to the story. I'm getting sidetracked here. So I'm sitting there smoking a bowl, and they're yelling that shit. And then they pepper spray me through the window, into my eyes. Pepper spray me, right? I'm like, my eyes. I'm like, why the fuck did you pepper spray me? I shut the window, and I'm yelling out. I'm like, DARPA's the Illuminati. They put Neuralink in me. Because they did, and I put that on the internet earlier today, and I figured this was related. Because I was like, why are you here? You know, like, what the fuck is this? Why did you do this to me? And they're like, you shouldn't have come over to my house. As they broke my window with a metal rod. Broke the window with a metal rod, and so I pick up my stick, and I hit towards the window, and hit out, and I'm like, oh wait, I probably shouldn't do that. I feel kind of bad. And so I put it down, I started yelling out shit. I'm like yelling out about how DARPA's trying to kill me. And how the neighbors are torturing somebody, I think. But maybe not. Maybe it's everybody. Under the ground or something like the guy said, or whatever they said. Or it's underground, or whatever shit he said. I'm like, but basically, I go off on this shit, right? And I'm talking to this lady, and she starts to kind of open up. She's like, notices I'm in trouble. She's like, do you want like treatment or something? I'm like, I might need treatment because you pepper sprayed me in the fucking eyes. Yeah, maybe. I was like, either way, I'm gonna smoke a fucking bowl. So I grabbed out a tomato and I poked a hole in it, two directions, and I loaded up a bowl and I started smoking a bowl, and I opened up my door and I said, come on in. They're like, no, we're not gonna come in. I was like, well, I'm gonna smoke a fucking bowl. So I started smoking a bowl. Sorry about swearing. Smoke a bowl. I gotta laugh because it sounds crazy, but it's not crazy. It's actually been the worst experience ever. I tried to retire. I sold my business, tried to buy my freedom. I had a pretty good business. Dixie Guitar King in St. George, Utah. It was really good. Like 5 years, it was like working on guitars and shit. And I worked on guitars for like years before that in other stores and stuff, like 6 other stores, like Guitar Setters and stuff with other top guys. But like basically, like I did this business and I was doing pretty well, and I sold it because I found Cresto and I ended up out there, and then like the fucking shit starts happening. And yeah, it's probably related. Yeah, why? Because the fucking valley, San Luis Valley, the mysterious extraterrestrial highway, with a dark skies initiative, and why? Because it's a fucking airport or something, spaceport, and all the fucking shit they're doing, invisible shit. We invented invisibility. We figured out how to cloak a micron. They said a while back, and they did. Anyway, I gotta go back to the story because they stand up stomping my ass. Anyway, so I gotta get back to this. So basically. And this is the Alamo, not the Alamos, where the fuck am I? I'm in Saguache County, and I end up in Mineral County in prison with a bunch of guys that look like cartel members or something. They seem like all right guys, some of them. Some of them wanted to kill me for no reason. I'll tell you about that later, maybe too. But yeah, I got a lot of different stuff that happened. So basically, as I'm sitting there smoking a bowl, I'm like inviting them in, they won't come in. And I am like, fuck this shit, I'm going to shut the door. So I go to shut the door, and they drag me out, and they fucking take me out, and then stomp my back, put handcuffs on my hands and feet, and they keep increasingly getting tighter as if somebody's remote controlling them. Tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And so I tried to move it through my body, and I did. It was in the back of my body, and moved to the front. And it moved through my body, I think, or something. I don't know, I'll have to look at the video, but I don't know how it happened, but I definitely didn't move my legs or anything. It was weird. And then they take me, and they throw me against the car. They throw me against the car, right? And they're like, move the handcuffs back in the front of your body. And I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on, because they haven't even told me what's going on yet. They're just pulling my ass in. We'll tell you what your charges are later. Welcome to America. 2.5 years ago, I said DARPA, the Beast Antichrist system. The false all-seeing eye of the world, Christ is the true all-seeing eye, the 6th. Alright. Kingdoms of heaven, the 7. Alright, so anyway, the devil's keyless, meaning basically Nephilim. It's a Nephilim species. A species under the ground and another light spectrum, another resonance spectrum. We change the light and the resonance spectrum. They can come up with a lot of makeup on. Holy shit! It's actually kind of funny. If you chop your penis off, I feel really bad for you. So, anyway, regardless of that, and if I'm wrong about that, super sorry indeed. This is the kind of shit that I hear all day as they represent themselves in this way in my mind, as they fuck with me 24/7. 24/7. They literally have not shut it off for 2 years. 24 hours a day fuck with me in one way or another. And fucking with me, people around me trying to fuck the girls I like. They're like I meet a girl and they're like, yeah, I want to hang out. Like girls like tell me like, yeah, the girls I've already been with, and like, yeah, I love you, and then they want to like, and like, I try to get a hold of them and they're like, ignore me completely, or like tell me like, that was like a seedling phase. And I'm like, seedling phase? What the fuck does that mean? There's all this weird shit's happening to me because they're fucking with their minds too. See, they can send shit to their minds too, because I don't know how many of them they fuck with, but they at least fuck with a few of them. My friend Billy Weaver, Kimberly Jepson, they definitely fuck with them. Okay, and they fuck with other people too. I'm positive. How many? Maybe all of them. Electromechanical sensor layer theoretically could be a base layer for a neuralink communication if they made it inside and outside the body, or even just outside the body, which they did. It formed smart foam, and then they turned the microwave up to 5G, and then all of a sudden we had COVID-19, and then 6G is a depopulation event. So the Nephilim contract was probably, David Icke, right? The Nephilim contract was probably, they mentioned this shit in my head right now, was probably to get technology and weapons, which they got spacesuits, which made them... Okay, let me tell you what the spacesuits do. They're fucking stupid. So you can still kind of hear these assholes in the background, but you can't see them, right? Because they're in invisibility suits. And then they're also bending sounds. They can send sound to a different location, but it's really quiet, and they fuck with you in your head with it. Yeah. Sounds like torture, right? Because you don't know what it is. You try to figure it out, and you're like, why are my emotions fucking with me? Why is this going... Yeah, well, it's them, probably. So basically, this species underground, they've been fucking with humans. Not all of them, but some of them. It's a species. So you can't be like, oh, you species. That species is. Right? Okay, I get that. But to be fair, they are born into that species with none of their chakras open, so it's very, very, very physical for them immediately. They basically... Your chakras open and close depending on what you do in your life. Okay? There's 7 gateways to the 7 kingdoms of heaven. There are 7 continents, 365 1/7 days in a year, 7 years in a day in a cycle, 7 years in a day when your cells replace themselves. Yeah, they stomped my ass, and then they pepper sprayed me in the back of the car as they're driving me in, and then they drive by the place from the space dimension with the fucking broken window. That couldn't have happened. But it was in a different place. It couldn't have. I broke this same thing. I heard somebody being tortured on the ground. I broke it. It was a double locked window, double locked door. I mean, I couldn't open it from the inside. It was double locked. I had to have 2 keys. Yeah. And they say I did something. So anyway, so I'm in jail for and then they put my food on the toilet and and I'm on the ground. First off, and it looks like I got J Money in there, Too Tall, Rocco, Manuel. There's Yo's Way and Jeff and Sam and all these guys, and a bunch of guys, right? Probably 13 of them or something, right? And I'm like, all these guys are Hispanic. Is the judge racist? It's the first thing I thought. I was like, is the judge racist? It's like everybody in here is Hispanic. Every single one of them. Are the cops racist? But it might have been a cartel or something. I'm not really sure. They've been fucking with me. So again, this could not be real prison. I was in Mineral County. They brought me to Del Norte. I wasn't even in the same county I was in. I was underground. I didn't see the light of day the whole time I was there. I looked through a doorknob. It was warm, but I was in a pod underground or some shit, dude. A pod, yeah. A fucking pod. I went in there. There was handcuffs on a fucking bench. A bunch of handcuffs. Not in a stack, but attached to the bench. So as to attach people. And it said pink sheets in there. And they didn't tell me my charges. I'm like, what are my charges? I would tell you later. You'll get charges later. When? Right when I showed up with the judge. So yeah, not going back to Colorado. Fuck you. Let me tell you how they tried to poison me in prison. So they did it in the food, right? And I brought back the food and I said, I think this food is poison. When they handed me food, I was like, I don't think I want this. I think it's poison because I keep getting poisoned when I eat the shit. I feel like my face goes numb. As soon as I eat, a little, just taste it, and I'm like, they're trying to kill me. And so I hand it back to him, and then one of the guys, this guy, one of the guys in the freaking thing, in the jail there, he says rat, and I'm like, rat? What the fuck are you talking about? In my head, they're telling me that they're like the XJ13 cartel, and they told them that I'm the one who did it, whatever it was, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? And I don't even know what's going on. And I'm just like, they're seriously just fucking with me like this all day, every day. Tell me they're torturing and cloning, killing and cloning people. Okay, so they'll take somebody and all of a sudden they're weird. And they're telling me they're fucking killing them and cloning them. Everybody I love. And I'm like, is this happening? What is happening? I don't know what the fuck is happening because they haven't told me. But this is what they tell me in my head. Everything fucking crazy, dude. Everything crazy. Everything to make you afraid. Everything to make your day bad. Yeah, man. And so basically, they've invented a bunch of technologies that have reverse terraformed the Earth by reducing the resonant field between beings and suppressing it. Untying reality at that resonant fields and diverting them to the device you hold, which is also within, which is also an amplifier for a resonant field, and other factors, to where for the microwave basically. I mean, so then they turn that shit up. They got the COVID vaccine. You got Bill Gates there. You're modifying your DNA to get the electricity to match up with the fucking wavelengths of that bullshit. Everybody get the vaccine. I'm Bill Gates. I know what I'm talking about. What about the doctors and shit? I mean, seriously. I mean, like before that. I mean, like where are the guys before that came to conclusions that weren't you need to get a vaccine that's untested in a way that's never been done, that's already available. Hey, everybody put on masks, but we're going to keep ours on afterwards. You can take yours off now. So the only reason I got out of jail is they fucking giving me a bunch of bullshit. They tried to say I did a bunch of shit I didn't do. They're like, oh, they did perjury on the police report. He said, I'm going to kill you to the cops, which never happened. I'm vegetarian and I'm like nonviolent. So like I did run over to the neighbor's house. I said, open up your fucking shed after he came out and then lunged towards me. Yeah. I said, open up your fucking shed. But he lunged towards me first, to be fair. But I was on his property, to be fair. So that'd be like a trespassing or something. But he was torturing somebody in his house, to be fair. You know. So basically, the secret government is such as this. In 1972, ARPANET. That was Al Gore and others. ARPANET was individual data banks and intranets, master computers and server computers, masters and servers, a computer system, but across computers. The intranet. Right after JFK was killed. They got that shit done. So, I like doing that. I don't know. It's funny. It's when I look at myself in this thing. Yeah. I don't know. See, you do stupid shit when you hold this thing. So anyways, basically, that's why I try to avoid this bullshit. I don't even have a device or anything. I live off grid in the cabin, and they fucking follow me around with sonic weapons and shit, fucking with me. Tell me one day we're going to tell people you did a bunch of shit you didn't do, because we know you didn't do anything. But we're going to tell them that, and they're going to kill you. And then they're out in the background trying to, like, kill me and shit. And I'm like, I got people showing up. I was down in Jamaica. It's like 15 assassins surrounding me, like, everywhere I go. And I'm like, all right. You know,